Good morning, I'm Earth Dr. Reese Halter, and you're listening to Earthcast, SOS.com. Last Wednesday, the EPA released a long overdue report that found systemic insecticides called neonicotinoids, referred to as neonics, are deadly to honeybees. Finally, the EPA had the gumption to go after Bayer Crop Science, the makers of the number one used neonic, imidacloprid. As most of you know, I've been writing and broadcasting around the globe on these deadly bee, soil, and water-killing poisons since I released The Incomparable Honeybee and the Economics of Pollination in 2009. The EPA report card is vindicating for all of us that have worked ceaselessly to get these poisons listed as deadly, including Jonathan Lundgren, a top federal bee scientist whose research from South Dakota clearly showed that bees and butterflies were dying from neonicotinoid poisons. Let me give you the 411 on neonics. Each year, over 2 billion pounds of these poisons are thrust into the environment. What are they? Neonics synthetically mimic a plant compound found in tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, and tobacco. They are a neuroactive insecticide fashioned after nicotine. Neonicotinoids poison nerves and prevent acetylcholine from enabling neurons to communicate with each other and with muscle tissue. In humans, for instance, these substances would trigger Parkinson's and Alzheimer's diseases. In 2010, my friend, colleague, and mentor, Dutch toxicologist Dr. Henk Tenekes, wrote a smashing book called The Systemic Insecticides, A Disaster in the Making. It's a must-read. DisasterInTheMaking.com. Tenekes documented that neonicotinoids are water-soluble, mobile in soils, and persistent for decades in both soils and water. Imidacloprid, the one the EPA just came down on, contaminated western Dutch surface waters and killed springtails, beetles, and earthworms, robbing the soils of its necessary beneficial fauna, which decompose leaf litter and other organic matter and recycle nutrients. Those insects, in turn, are crucial food sources for many common grassland bird species. Moving up the food chain, Tenekes discovered that populations of avian predators like Eurasian goshawks and northern goshawks have likewise fallen dramatically. The use of these toxic neonicotinoids have rippled through nature, impoverishing biodiversity and the web of life in Western Europe. The story doesn't end there at all. The health of our agricultural soils is not only essential to feed us, but also, according to Sydney, Australia agronomist Alan Yauman and his book Priority 1, Together We Can Beat Global Warming, the most economical and global way to reduce carbon dioxide emissions from burning 134 million metric tons of subsidized fossil fuels daily. That is to add plant-based food scraps and plant residue to the agricultural soils globally by building the soils. According to Yauman's calcs, those built-up soils can draw down 100 parts per million of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is now over 400 parts per million. This is brilliant and highly doable, and it's happening now. Yes! The caveat is stop neonics globally, because they're killing our soils. If the soils die, the human race is done. It's not just the soils we've got to protect. The shellfish growers of Washington in Willapa Bay, the oyster growers, have another application in to apply imidacloprid into the oceans to kill shrimp in order to grow oysters. This is awful and lethal and wrong and ludicrous. Falls well, it's not going to happen because of this latest EPA ruling. It's time to stop these diabolical multinational corporations, fossil fuel and big chem. They're killing our planet with impunity. The climate crisis is lambasting agriculture. The latest study from McGill and the University of British Columbia show that droughts and heats have already reduced cereal harvests by 10% globally, and in North America, Europe, and Australasia by 20%. Ladies and gentlemen, we must stay below 1.5 degrees C in order for 7.4 billion people to become 8 billion by 2023 and eat. We need the bees in order to eat. Hashtag ban all neonicotinoids now. Hashtag save the bees. Hashtag love nature. Hashtag love is the solution. Earthcast SOS could use a helping hand. Come on to drreese.com, DRREESE.com, and make it happen by clicking on the donate button, or pick yourself up any number of books on bees, trees, and seas at drreese.com. Just do it. I'm Earth Dr. Reese Halter, reminding you to protect our planet.